welcome to the Natural View. Maggie and Steve here. We are live at Expo West. We're exploring all the latest on the show floor, and we are here with a wonderful company today. We're going to learn more from Church and Dwight Arm Hammer. We're here with Amy and Jill. So let's start by just getting to know you guys. If you can tell us your role in the company and, kind of what your expertise is.
So my name's Amy Wescott. I have been with Church and Dwight now for 10 years. I started as a research scientist in the lab, so a lot of the strains that we'll talk about today, I worked on developing those strains. And about 2 years ago, I switched over to our operations manager, so now getting all of those out the door.
Excellent.
And I'm Jill Haydinger. I have been with Church and Dwight 2 years. I was actually brought on when we decided to go beyond bicarbonates. So for a really long time, we focused on bulk sodium bicarbonate. And we decided to get into some other solutions that we're going to talk about today. And so I work on all the marketing for that.
Excellent. And I want to kind of set the stage because it's really a legacy company. So how should people be thinking about the brand now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the Arm & Hammer brand is grounded in quality, purity, and performance ingredients for the last 180 years. It's actually our anniversary this year. So what's evolved is really where we're focusing our expertise. And so we recently expanded into specialty ingredient solutions, where science, performance, and manufacturability are, that's what matters most. And so that's why we came to Expo West, to talk about two of our solutions, very different, but both equally as important. Our targeted probiotics, as well as our sodium reduction solutions for bakery applications. Excellent.
Yeah, well, let's start with probiotics, and maybe Amy,
Sure.
going over here, tell us about your probiotics. What is your overall approach?
Sure. So we like to think that we are really focused and grounded in the science, as Jill mentioned. So we have a facility in Wisconsin called our Science Hearted Center, right? So has about 30 different scientists there, and that's where we focus on all of our probiotic research. So we have over 100,000 potential probiotic strains at that facility that we have access to, and a wide range of different scientific expertise at that site. So the goal is really to focus on making sure we're creating custom and tailored probiotics that show the science behind it. We have clinically backed studies, and we're not just kind of the generic on the market.
So let's dig a little deeper. What strains are you guys highlighting here today?
Yeah, so our big focus lately has been women's health. So one of the strains that we're focusing on is our Lactobacillus reuteri 3613-1. So big focus on women's health for that one. That's kind of been our push for the last year or so. But one of the other ones that we're focusing on this show as well is a Lactobacillus plantarum 276 for gut and digestive health as well.
Let's stick with the L. reuteri 3613-1. Yeah. What makes it stand out? What are the mechanisms at play specifically for women's health?
Yeah. So I think this strain is quite unique. There's a lot of women's health products on the market, right? But this strain 3613 has what we consider a triple mode of action. So it has the ability to produce lactic acid, which is beneficial for the vaginal tract to keep the pH down. It has the ability to produce hydrogen peroxide, which inhibits pathogens that are common in the vaginal tract. But most importantly, it produces Reuterin. So not all reuteri produce Reuterin. And in fact, most of the women's health reuteri on the market do not produce Reuterin. Reuterin is very important. It's a very strong antimicrobial that inhibits many bacterial pathogens, but also yeast as well. So you think about, right, common things for women's health. You have yeast infections, you have bacterial infections in the vaginal tract. And so we really think this strain kind of gives itself a leg up by having that triple mode of action.
Excellent. Okay, I'm not even going to try to say the name of the next strain. Steve had it. I'm going to let you say it. Tell us about the next one.
Yes, yep. So the Lactobacillus plantarum 276, so that one, again, focuses on gut and digestive health. So a big part of our focus in the lab initially was making sure that we are able to protect that gastrointestinal tract, right? So your gut is exposed to many different factors throughout the day. And so we focus on experiments in the lab that help to show that this strain can keep your intestinal cells intact and protect against any damages that occur. And then we finished a clinical study for this strain about 3 years ago now as well. And so we saw some very positive, beneficial gastrointestinal effects in the clinical study as well.
Excellent. So really hitting on key focuses of the moment with the women's health and digestive health, big trends here that we're seeing at the show as well.
Yep.
Love it. So shifting focus, another big focus is sodium reduction. So tell us about the necessity of focusing on sodium reduction, what is the priority for bakers?
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, sodium reduction remains a challenge because salt is such a critical ingredient, not only for taste, but functionality in baked goods. And we're at a time when bakers are faced with increasing regulations that are demanding that they reduce the sodium content without affecting the taste or texture of the products that consumers love. So that really creates a complex reformulation challenge for bakers. And our approach is that they don't need a trial by error approach. They really need proven solutions, which is just what we have.
So can you talk a little bit more about how Coda is helping bakers address the issue?
Yeah, so Coda is a patent potassium bicarbonate technology, and it's created specifically for bakery applications, which is really important. It's a one-for-one substitute for sodium bicarbonate, and it can reduce sodium by up to 50% in bakery applications.
So I love case studies. How about sharing a real world example that Coda works?
Yeah, so that's a great thing with these Coda technologies. We have a lot of recipes, case studies in numerous applications. So we have case studies in tortillas, crackers, and cookies. One of our cookie case studies was conducted by a major cookie manufacturer, and they use Coda potassium bicarbonate as a one-by-one substitution, and they were able to reduce the sodium content by up to 40%. And the most important part was that they conducted a blind taste test, and they found that the product that used Coda was completely interchangeable. So that proves that you're able to reduce sodium while maintaining the taste, texture, and appearance, which is so important.
All right. So for customers, how do they typically engage with you on Coda?
Yeah, so we're hearing from a lot of customers that are facing these regulatory changes, right? And they are at a starting point. They know where they need to end up, but they don't know how to get there. And that's a great thing. We're just not an ingredient supplier. Our team really likes to work hand in hand to collaborate with our customers. So we will help from recipe guidance to formulation discoveries so that they can get to the end line of where they need to be.
Yeah, and really appreciate you sharing the information. Takeaways for Expo, maybe starting with Jill and Amy.
Yeah, I think, with what we're talking about today, it's two very different conversations, right? But at the end of it, we're really focusing on science-backed, proven solutions. And while it's two different topics, what remains the same is we're really focusing on helping brands produce better for you products while not affecting the quality, the performance, taste, and texture.
Yeah, that's a great point. So again, science-backed solutions, being a scientist, right? That's the first thing that comes to mind, but kind of a little teaser. So 3613 for our women's health product. We should actually have the publication at the end of this month. So keep an eye out for that as well. So that'll be very exciting. Everybody can read about the clinical research behind that strain.
Excellent. We love it. Well, we love the science and the innovation coming out of the company and how you're helping to solve these problems. We will stay tuned for the new study, and we'll certainly share the news when that's available. So thank you both for joining us on The Natural View.
Thank you for having us.
It's been fun.